We got the potatoes, but let's talk about a pork chop. A pork chop like you've probably never seen before. As premium and gourmet as it can possibly get, this is a heritage pork chop. So we're talking center cut, we're talking super thick, juicy, marbled, intense in flavor, and a total crowd pleaser. First day that you've seen these at this low price, $59.98 or a $12 easy pay gets home 8 of them. Each one is 8 ounces. Now we do have auto delivery here where you'll lock in that sale price, you'll lock in the 5 easy pays every 90 days for a year. We're talking a heritage pork chop, super thick, $7.50 each. It's crazy. It's M92253 to get this home, half a pound each. You could see the marbling throughout. You can see the thickness of these. Each one is individually vacuum sealed. You get the seasoning packet and you also get that booklet, which I'm always so thankful that Kansas City provides to us. In case there's any guesswork, it takes it all out of there. All right, Ralph, I have to start it off with, what is a heritage pork chop?
Okay, so a heritage pork chop. Now I want people to think of Berkshire pork chops, right? That's like the cream of the crop.
Right.
Well, guess what? Berkshire's here. Heritage.
Boom.
Right here.
That's what I'm talking about.
That says it all, okay? Now, what does that mean, right? Because generally pork, right, a pork chop that you would get like at the butcher or at your local grocery store is not very, let's say, moist and juicy, right? Because it lacks that muscular, that white lines that we talk about, the marbling, right? So first of all, you get this beautiful pork chop, 8 ounces. You see how thick that is, right? Look at that.
Yeah.
And you notice that it is super trim. There's not a lot of fat on it. And what we want to do is we want to just show you something.
Oh.
Okay, now I cook these, I would say, and I think my light needs to be just dimmed a little bit. But I want you just to see, first of all, if you could see how juicy it is. And what you get from that is this richness, okay? So as you're eating this, it's reminiscing of like a steak, basically like a really juicy steak, but it eats clean, right? It's got this clean taste to it, but it also has this buttery rich flavor. So when you're talking about a heritage pork chop, which is a full purebred, okay, it's purebred. There's nothing going on other than the heritage pork chop that goes back like hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's just, like I said, it's an experience. So if you like pork, if you like pork chops, right?
I do.
First of all, there's no bone. So you're getting 8 ounces and you're getting a super trimmed, boneless pork chop that, again, is at the top of its game when it talks about pork chops. And again, what I did is I actually like to sear these or grill these really nice. And then I put them in the oven and I let them cook for about 10 minutes.
Oh,
and what you get is this absolutely just juicy pork chop.
Wait,
that
10
you can't
minutes?
dry out. 10 minutes, that's it. See, a lot of times people think, well, pork has to be cooked like at 165 or 175. As long as it's cooked fully, meaning like say 145, 150, when you let it sit, something this thick, you need about 10 minutes to let it sit, and all those juices go back in, and then it's cooking a little bit more. So what you do is you don't want to dry that pork chop out. So again,
look at all of that juiciness on your cutting board. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? You want it in your mouth, not too much. Like what I did is I made these so nice that there is not a ton of juice, but just enough. And you see how clear that is?
Yeah.
So again, it eats really clean, and you see just the thickness of it. And again, let's do something kind of fun, which I like to do with the pork chop.
Oh, I love your ideas. What you got for me?
Here we go. So again,
I'm so hungry
beautiful
right now.
pork chop.
I'm starving. This looks so good.
I know. So I'm going to take a little bit of apples. I did a Crimson Tide apple. I sauteed it, okay? With the skin on. It's kind of like the potatoes. You want a little texture there, right? And then I go in, I hit a little bit of really extra virgin olive oil, okay? And then I go in and I got a little bit of that balsamic glaze. Okay? And there you go. So what you think about this is that it's such a nice thing to have in your freezer for that kind of that special night, right? Like a Saturday night where you're not going out, or right, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and it's just maybe 2 of you and you want to do something special. So you do something like this, or how about New Year's? This is a perfect New Year's dish. Maybe you put a little bit of mashed potatoes under there or risotto, right? You do a little risotto underneath. And you have
Risotto.
yourself just this elegant, elevated experience because, again, this isn't heritage pork chop.
Right. This
This
is
is up
next
there with
level.
workshop. This is next level pork chop. And again,
The sheer size of it, Ralph, is really like blowing my mind. It is so
I
thick,
know, right?
a half pound each, and you're only paying $7.57 each, or $7.50 each. That's it, $7.50. If you went to any butcher and asked for a pork chop of this caliber, oh my gosh,
Right.
the amount of money you'd be paying. It would be astronomical. We have fewer than 300 to go around now. It's a $12 easy pay. Lock in the sale price, lock in that $12 easy pay, and you'll receive this every 90 days for a year. It's one of the few items in our show that we do have on auto delivery. First day you have ever seen them presented at so low of a price, under $60 here. It's M92253 center cut. No bone. I love that there's no bone to like kind of take away some of that ounceage, if you will.
Yeah. You know what I notice is that to get like an elevated pork chop like this is you really have to go to a high-end type of store. And at that point, like you said, it's unrealistic. Like most people just will not pay for a premium pork chop. They just don't get it, right? Because either it's not explained to them or they just feel like every pork chop tastes the same. This pork chop, I will tell you, if you're a pork lover, if you love a good pork chop, this is something you want to treat yourself with, okay? You want to give yourself an elevated pork chop experience. That's this cut of pork chop. And I love the fact that it's not fatty whatsoever. And by the way, you just literally cutting through this.
Buttery.
Look at that. There's no effort whatsoever. And I can get, by the way, a lot of I think I get like 10 to 12 slices.
That's huge.
For this. So you want to do family style with this? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, right.
Or if you want to go the barbecue route, by the way, you want to rub this with like Corky's has a really great barbecue rub.
Yeah.
And you marinate that, and then you just put these in your oven or you put these in your air fryer, and you're off. You're ready to go.
Oh, it's gorgeous. That slight marbling throughout just gives it extra moistness, gives it extra flavor. They're individually wrapped, right?
Yeah, I'm going to show you right now. So here's how they come. Just like this.
Beautiful.
Right? You put them in the oven.
Do you
Put them in
defrost
some
first?
cold water.
Do you thaw?
Absolutely defrost overnight if you have the time. If not, put these in cold water, 40, 30 minutes, and they're ready to go. But you just see how perfect that is. And again, that is a thick pork chop without the bone. Because a lot of times you'll say to your butcher, well, I want that pork chop. Well, guess what? They're charging you for the bone. And in this case, when people are like, well, the bone gives it flavor. In this case, these pork chops, like, look, first of all, that's the shot. If we just keep that shot for a second, do you see all the white lines there?
Yes.
That is called marbling. Now, a lot of times people say, well, marbling is only on a steak. No. When a pork chop is fed a rich diet and it's a purebred, you're going to get those white lines. Those white lines will melt. When you cook this, they will melt into the meat and they will baste that pork chop.
Oof.
Therefore, the pork chop is never dry, even at a medium well, and you get that buttery, rich flavor that you would get with the highest end pork chop, because guess what? This is the highest end pork chop. And the fact that we're sharing it with our foodie friends is really, really cool. I'm actually very proud of this particular item.
It's very impressive, I have to say, with like the thickness, the size, the fact that it's a heritage pork chop, no bone, and it's at a great sale price for the very first day of under $60 and a $12 easy pay. All of that you lock in when you choose to lock in auto delivery, which by the way, you can cancel anytime, but you're gonna want to have these in the rotation because they're such a crowd pleaser to kids, to grandpa and grandma and everyone in between. They love it. Ships for free. It's M92253. Now, if you're picking this up or you're thinking about it, now we only have 250 remaining. And a lot of people are taking advantage of auto delivery every 90 days for an entire year. It's M92253.